Hello and welcome back to the Axe Life podcast. I'm Vinny. We've been on hiatus for a little bit while we took care of the holidays, did some upgrades to the venue here, started prepping for all of those World Axe Throwing League events that are coming up, including Worlds and closing out Pro-Ams and trying to start up new leagues, etc. So these are all just terrible excuses as to why we haven't filmed a podcast in a while, but we're coming back with a banger. We've got in studio John Kautter, who is a pro axe thrower and CEO of Bullmag, and we are super happy to have here. And I want you to introduce yourself. Tell us, where do you throw out of, and who are you, John?
Well, I appreciate you having me on. I'm really excited to be here. I throw out a Blade and Bull in Savannah. I like to call myself the founder of Bullmag, not a CEO yet. It's just a one-man band right now, but I am happy to be here, so thanks for having me.
Sure. Well, I mean, you are the executive. So
I'm not a pro axe thrower yet, but I'm getting there.
Okay. All right. Well, you're a pro in my book. You keep up just fine.
I appreciate it.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. So, but speaking of, we're going to talk about axe throwing. We're going to talk about leagues and, the World Axe Throwing League and going to the World Championships with you. But one of the first things I want to talk to you about is what's Bullmag? Bullmag's been kind of plastered all over Facebook lately for a very specific reason. And I want to talk about what's new and what you're doing with Bullmag.
Sure. So everybody that knows Bullmag, we started with magnetic axe sleeves. And I think that the community has come to expect a certain level of quality. And like you said, something that's been plastered all over Facebook is the A365. Mm-hmm. And that's an axe we just launched. We're still in pre-order. We're about a week and a half out to 2 weeks from shipping. But I'm really excited about that, and not just be an accessory to the industry, but actually be a player in it as well.
Now, A365, is that like axe that you could throw 365 days a year?
That's exactly it.
yeah, man. All right, and you've got an example of one right here. So
right here. So if we decide to dig more into it, I can kind of show what I'm talking about.
Okay, so the sheath, let's talk about the sheath first that you
Sure.
just pulled off of that axe. All right, so tell me about what's super special about that sheath.
So this is the second generation of the Bullmag. I named it the MO2, so it's Model 2. The magnets are spread out more evenly throughout. A lot of the feedback I got for the Gen 1 was that the magnets are too strong, and that was intentional because we were using a side clip, which is now upgraded as well. It was just purely magnetic.
Yeah, just
hold.
slap it to your...
Now, it clicks together. So you've got to pull a tab in order to release it. We had some customers using the old side clip in an unsafe way. So to prevent anything from happening, I decided to go ahead and make a Gen 2.
And you just pull the leather piece open and...
Yeah, so it's actually a rubber tab
inside.
here. I'm trying to get this in the camera, but you pull the rubber tab and it'll pop open.
Right, and then when you want to put the sheath on your axe, you've done throwing, you just open it, slap it around your axe.
Correct. So with this one, I've modified it with a 64 chip, so it doesn't work as well holding it on the outside as it would without it. Uh-huh. So I tend to not do that with mine, but the one that you're going to order from the site will not have the 64 chip, so it'll go directly to the magnet. So for instance, if you're in the middle of a match and let's say you have a second call, or you just, whatever the situation is, you can just slap it right on your side and rest your arm for a second.
Gotcha. Okay. That makes a lot of sense. And then the axe itself that you're displaying right here, that's the A365. That's a prototype model, right?
It is. This was the final prototype before I placed the production order. Mm-hmm. The only difference between this axe and the one that people have purchased is this back piece will not be as thin. We originally designed it to have a steel backplate for duels. We decided not to move forward with that because it did more harm than helped, because it could really hurt another axe head if they were to hit it.
Well, look, I saw a video that somebody had posted that they had they had that axe mounted to the target and then threw another axe at the handle, and it just bounced off anyway. So you didn't really need that steel plate.
No, you don't need it. Yeah, that was actually, I took that video. I put.
Oh, okay.
I threw an axe. Well, I placed the axe in the center of the board, and surprisingly, it was actually all in one take. Swear to God. And I threw it, and it hit like
right on it. Yeah,
barely a scratch.
Yeah.
So, I mean, this carbon fiber is extremely resilient.
Okay, yeah. Tell me about that handle. Why is it so good? Because
So
it's good.
Whenever you think of carbon fiber, generally what I would think of is like car parts.
Cars, yeah.
So like let's say a spoiler on a car. That's a weave pattern. Generally, it's like 2K or 4K. This is bidirectional aerospace grade carbon fiber. So it's strands, that are vertical, that are all aligned together and then, bonded. So this is one solid 20 millimeter piece thick of piece of carbon fiber that is CNC'd into the shape that it's in.
Okay, nice. Well, and then the head of that is a very resilient and durable steel. Look, you came in, we had an opportunity to throw before the podcast. I got a chance to throw this axe. And the handle is nice and smooth, but not slick. So it's not slippery where it slips out of your hand. And there's something about the steel where it just feels like it is like strong, dense, strong steel. So what's the difference between that and the throwing axes that we see mostly thrown in our league?
So I'll start with the design. So originally, this is 6 months in working, and it took 6 months to go to market. I originally designed. I mean, we went through multiple variations, but I hired 3 mechanical engineers to help me design an axe head that was balanced specifically for throwing, and that's probably what you're feeling. And whenever the first time you picked it up, you said, it doesn't look heavy. It is not heavy, but it
doesn't feel heavy,
solid.
But it throws heavy.
So the handle, I get that all the time. People are always like, "Oh, we thought it was going to be slippery." It's a matte finish on the handle, and that was done intentionally. We didn't go with a gloss finish. Gloss finish probably would have been slippery. So there is some. It's smooth, but there's no texture. But it's matte, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
The head is a derivative of 440 high carbon stainless steel. So we basically took the composition of that steel and then added more chromium and a couple of other things to it to make it more corrosion resistant, hold a blade longer, and we've also heat treated it to make it strong. So it's 448 HRC.
And you've heat treated the entire blade.
Entire blade.
Nice. And then there's a speed hole on the top, right?
Yeah. So this was actually probably in the second or third prototype.
Yeah.
We had to figure out a way to reduce the weight, which is funny because we ended up adding more weight after that. And once it was there, I was like,
it just looks cool.
It just looks cool. So there's no real intention behind the slot here. It's just, I feel like it's a trademark to the A365. Whenever you see that, you're gonna know what it is.
That's right. I'm throwing this axe. I'm throwing it in Worlds. Soon I did the pre-order. As soon as I get one of my hot little hands.
Thank you for being one of the pre-orders.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm super excited. It comes. It will be shipped to me at a 19-inch handle, so that I could cut it down to my exact preference. Correct?
Yes, and I've gotten a few questions about how the carbon actually cuts or sands. It sands surprisingly well. It sands very similar to wood. I'd use 60 grit to start to get whatever shape you want, and then go up to 180. You don't have to go any further than that.
Okay.
Because if you do, then it will get slick. So
yeah.
180 is perfect. It's nice and smooth. And yes, it'll ship at 19 inches. And I'm glad you're throwing it at Worlds. I wish I was throwing in Worlds this year with you. Just didn't make it.
Ah, well. So everybody can order this via your website, which is bullmags.com.
Correct. Yes.
All right. So, Josh, if you could pull up bullmags.com. All right. So, okay, we've got products on Bullmag. So there's the Bullmag A365 right there. Okay, look at that guarantee. So you've got a guarantee listed there. One of the things that has been the talk of the town is a lifetime guarantee on a throwing axe. So
Right. And
everybody's like, John Kautter is going to lose his ass by having a lifetime guarantee on a throwing axe.
I don't think even I expected how strong this axe turned out to be. It's ridiculous. It's way over engineered as far as strength.
Yeah.
So I had to buy it takes 12 tons to press this handle into the head. Okay. So just, I mean, that concept alone, how much pressure's on the handle, it's not exploding, it's not chipping, it bends if it's not level.
Yeah.
But it goes right back to shape. It's crazy. But before I had the hydraulic press, I was really, I had the prototypes, I had the handles and the heads, and I wasn't very patient. So I went outside and I was like, I can just reverse it. I'll use my 4-ton jack and put it under my Jeep. I tried to lift the Jeep with the head and the handle in the head. It lifted my Jeep off the ground and didn't go in the head. So I was like, all right, this is kind of ridiculous.
Oh, that's fantastic. So, and you even ran the handle over with your Jeep?
I did. I put it in between two broken cinder blocks. So they're like half the thickness they normally are.
Yeah.
I plan on posting a video of that. It's just I've been so busy with everything going on. I haven't had a chance to edit the videos.
You got to get like a Billy Mays version of like a commercial where it's like, look what I could do with this axe handle,
Right.
and start running it over. And
I've been kind of avoiding the question of people who are like, okay, lifetime warranty, what does that actually mean? So it's really simple. It's actually on the website now. I just posted it a few days ago. We got back from the lawyers. This was mentioned in a podcast last week, and I said I can't say much yet, but it's very straightforward. If you use it as a throwing axe and something is to happen while you're using it from 12 or 15 feet, we'll cover it. If there's any manufacturer defects, which is very unlikely because everything's CNC milled,
right,
then we'll cover it. If you go outside and chuck it down the sidewalk and we get the axe and we inspect it, or you send pictures, then why are there a bunch of scrapes on the side? We'll ask questions, but I think that as far as the lifetime warranty, I'm really not worried about losing anything. I think that these are going to last a very long time.
Okay, let me ask this. I think that a lot of people would have the same question. If I use this as my duals axe, and that carbon fiber handle gets chopped off during the natural, normal, not wonky, but duals competition, is the handle covered?
Yeah, so this is something we had a conversation about the other evening, and I said no then, and you were like, oh, dang it. That's changed. If you're throwing duals with it and it does break, then cover.
But here's the thing, man. I've watched axes hit the handle, and unfortunately, I think that the ability not to Robin Hood it may be a disadvantage. Yeah, look, Dylan, my partner for duels,
right?
We've never in competition had a Robin Hood scoring event, so I'm not too worried about competition. I would rather not have that panic. Like if my axe handle gets hit and I have to take less than a minute to fix it with some electrical tape or whatever, and then you're like, oh, dang, is it going to scrape my face or whatever on this next throw, and having all that anxiety, I'd rather it just bounce off.
I think the pros outweigh the cons on that one.
Yeah, I agree with you. So, all right, very cool. Very cool.
And it won't mess up the other person's axe head hitting the handle either.
Sure.
So, I mean, if you sit there and just hit it with an axe over and over, I can't tell you what happened because I haven't done that yet for testing purposes, but I can say that I'd be pretty confident you're going to sit there for a long time chopping.
Okay. Look, I'm not going to be your Huckleberry either. I don't have the patience or the time to start trying to destroy axes, but and I know that you're following along on your computer, with Bullmags. And one thing I did notice is that you don't have any decorations on that computer. Like, do you like putting stickers or things on your computer or on your vehicle or something like that?
Yeah, I've got a collection of venue stickers on my Jeep. I used to have a skin on my computer, but I took that off. So.
Okay. Well, I mean, this thing right here, this is one of my favorite stickers. It's a 3.5 inch by 5 inch sticker that holds up in the weather and is beautiful for the vehicle. Do you know where I got it from?
Axe Life?
The axelifegear.com. That's right. Axelifegear.com is an online shop where you could get gifts and all sorts of gear for the axe thrower in your life. So everything from koozies to some of the coolest t-shirt designs to these beautiful oversized vehicle stickers.
That
great for
decent size.
Yeah, it's a decent size. I've got one on our dartboard cabinet out there, one on my vehicle. So why I like it is because it holds its color, with the sun beating down on it and stuff like that. It's just a quality product, and I actually have people that ask me about, the Axe Life, is that like Salt Life or something like that? And then we're like, yeah, I'm an axe thrower, and we got a place down in downtown Augusta. Why don't you come throw? So they've got everything from these cool keychains that are also a bottle opener. And you could get all the stuff at axelifegear.com. But I'm going to gift this to you right now for being an awesome guest on our podcast. I want you to have some of the latest gear you got.
This is actually one of the things. So I don't know if you remember me telling you this, but this was the first tournament I ever attended.
Masters
last year. I've only been in 3 seasons. This is my 4th season ever thrown with Waddle. And this is actually one of the things that stood out to me. I was like, this is really cool. Whenever I left, I had a little gift bag. And
yeah, that's right.
Yeah, so thank you very much. I appreciate it.
You got it. No problem. So now, since the last time that we've had the Axe Life podcast, there have been some updates on upcoming tournaments. I mentioned I really can't wait to throw the A365 at Worlds. And so I think anybody that's listening to this, maybe there's new people that aren't a part of the axe throwing community yet, and they're now getting into the axe throwing community. The World Championships are occurring in mid-April in Tulsa, Oklahoma.
Right.
So this is going to be interesting because in Tulsa, everything before last year, the World Championships at Appleton, Wisconsin, was all hosted in a venue. Usually, if it wasn't at like Splitting Timber in Phoenix but the last year was the first time it was done in a convention center. And that's how the Pro-Am was done this year as well, in the exact same convention center. And now it's in Tulsa, Oklahoma. And I think Jason Kearney, who's got Wood in Oklahoma, is coordinating this event, and he's come up with an interesting venue for it, which is an arena that's usually used for I think hockey. So it'll cool. So I'm super interested to see what the layout's going to be, because we know that there's going to be stadium seating, and obviously there's going to be like a floor. I bet you they do concerts and all sorts of other stuff there in that convention center. I haven't checked it out or anything, but I'm super interested to see, what the World Championships can look like, other than how we've seen it. Because now we have a big venue, instead of breaking the throwers up into like 2 halls where there's 2 brackets happening separately in 2 different areas, everything under one roof. If you had a convention center with just an endless amount of space, how would you run? Would you put everybody in one bracket? Would you break it up into multiple brackets? How do you see that happening?
That's a good question. I think that the smoothest run tournament that I've attended was Bullseye on the Beach this past year. It was in 2 brackets. There's an A bracket, and a B bracket, and everything just went really smooth. So
that was in Pompano, right?
Yes, Pompano Beach, Florida. Beautiful. It was a lot of fun, but like I said, a lot of I went to a lot of tournaments last year to compete and just to get to know new people, and there's one thing most of them had in common is it was a madhouse. Well, nobody really knew what was going on. So, but yeah, if I had an opinion or a recommendation, I would definitely say start it with 2 brackets, especially with the amount of people there, and then
it's usually 4. It's usually 4 brackets.
Okay.
So what they'll do is they'll do like a bracket 1 and 3. Well, that's because of the number. I guess you could do it in two brackets, but with like say 30 targets, something like that, 24 or more targets or matches happening at the same time. Because I think it was they broke it up into four brackets because you had two halls with an equal amount of targets in it, and then you did bracket 1 and 3, and then 2 and 4. So it was like morning for the even or the odds, and then the even numbers were in the afternoon or whatever. So, but why I like the idea of doing it in some sort of sports related arena is now they've got those services. Hopefully, the concessions are open, so you could grab food and stuff like that, and just have all the amenities that a sports arena would have associated with our world championships. I'm pretty excited about that.
This will be the first one I'm attending, so I'm really excited. I wish I could give you more of an opinion or anything else. But
I'm excited to do a major event outside of Appleton, Wisconsin.
Sure.
So,
I heard it was really cold.
both times, and then it was really cold for Pro-Am inside the building. So because their heat was broken for the first 2 days, and then it seemed it got fixed on the last day. But it was pretty. Everybody kind of knew who was who in the zoo about who was going to be qualifying for Worlds, and then lo and behold, you had the wild card at the end of being able to qualify Worlds in qualifying throws.
Right.
So you did qualifying throws?
I botched it. I started out with a 64, and then I think I threw my next 4 throws perfectly. Mm-hmm. On the 5th throw, every 5 and 10th throw you had to go up.
Yep.
I was so focused that I didn't hear my manager at Blade and Bull tell me, "Hey, this is the 5th throw." Yeah. And I was just so focused on hitting the center. I threw center and got a 0. I couldn't come out of it mentally. It was really bad.
Holy cow. Okay.
Yeah,
wow.
That's what happened. It was rough.
Oh, damn.
Because I think I did 29 practice games, and I've got the the scorekeeper book, and I keep track of everything there. And so I look at.
And where can you find that scorekeeper book?
Scorekeeper book is also on the website, bullmags.com.
I'm giving you an opportunity.
I keep track of everything in this, and my average up to that point out of 29 games was 301.62 or something around there. I know it's 301 point something. So I had really high hopes, that I was going to make it into Worlds last minute, and I just couldn't bounce back from it. I think it'd be tough for most people to bounce back from doing that because I knew I did it to myself.
Yeah. So what was the cutoff? Do you know? It was somewhere around like 278 or something in order to make it?
Oh, I think it was in the 80s, 280. I may be wrong, but it was a high 70s if it was.
Because Aaron Corbin, a broad axe throwing thrower, he actually made it in qualifying throws, and I think the line of I asked Dylan right as he was approaching his 5th set, right? I was like, hey, what do you think, no kidding, historically, what is Aaron going to need to throw here in order to, have a shot at getting a qualifier? And he was like, normally you're going to need to throw 280 this year, I think. Mm-hmm. And I was like, all right. So calculated Aaron. I was like, Aaron, you got to throw a 61. You got to throw a 61 to land on 280. And he was just like, okay. And Dylan was like, why'd you tell him that, man? That's a lot of pressure. And I was like, no, Aaron's good under pressure.
Some people are better under pressure.
Yeah. He knuckled down and bam, the last kill shot, he hits it 61. So I think he landed on 280, and he took, I think there were a couple slots underneath him. So I think it was probably right around 280, 279 somewhere to qualify, but he was able to get in on that bid and prove that he can do this axe throwing thing under pressure. So
sure.
I'm rooting for him on that one. So qualifying throws, it went well for him. And
that's awesome.
I'm happy that there was still some sort of vector in order to get into the World Championships that way for
Absolutely.
Aaron, So, but, as there are people that have been to all these major events year after year after year. And the one thing that has changed is the way we get jerseys. So I don't know if you're following. Maybe you just scroll over all the world championships.
I've got 5 sponsors that three or four of them I bought the jerseys, so
Yeah,
I'm aware of what's going on.
yeah. So it shouldn't be this complicated, man. Like, and here's the thing: if something's been done a certain way for every event ever since, and then all of a sudden it changes, and there's new requirements and there's new processes, and in this case, new fees, and people throw their hands up and go, "Hey, what the heck's going on? You know, this isn't," and then you receive the feedback of, "Hey, stop being a snowflake, and you know, you want colorful little pretty things because you're entitled." It has a tendency to rub people the wrong way.
Well,
you know,
being in the position I am, you know, owning Bullmags, I talk to a lot of people, a lot of throwers every day, and I think the basic consensus I've gotten back is it seems like the price is going up every year to even get to Worlds.
Yes,
and then everything, the prize is getting lower. So when does it stop?
I suppose at the end of the day, as long as we're resolving to the idea that the prize is self-fulfillment, feeling good that I set a goal to make it on ESPN and I made it. That should be good enough, you know? Right. No,
that's not a way to excel a sport.
No, if you want to be a professional athlete, a part of that is being paid for your skill,
right, and
your athletic excellence,
right.
So, hey, you know what? I don't think the prize pool's going up because we paid $45 for a jersey. If you want color on it, it's not going to.
I thought it was 60.
Maybe it's 60.
I think it's free with no color and 60 with. I may be wrong.
I think it was 45 for the first jersey, and then if you wanted an extra one, it was 60 for the extra one.
Okay.
So, I think I wound up paying $110 total for because I got the extra jersey, you know, because I eat like a pig. So who knows what's going to happen during the weekend, you know? But yeah, and then you've got, you know, just people railing at, you know, the sublimation company that is making the jerseys is relatively new to the axe throwing world. They're usually a darts company. So, you know, people are like, bring back the old company and stuff like that. And, you know, you have to take a look at and receive the feedback from your throwers and maybe take action. Not this time. It's too late. It's too late. We're gonna have to put up with it. But maybe wag a finger and say, you know what? I don't think we're going with you. We're gonna go get some competitive pricing elsewhere.
Sure.
That's.
I mean, if you're looking at the quality, I don't see much of a difference in the quality of jerseys from Sublime.
Yeah, Sublime
wear. My new jerseys, it's good. I mean, it's just as good as the last one, but the color. So on the website it looked red. When I got it, it was like a neon red. It looked more like a cherry red on the computer. So I was a little surprised, a little bit of a surprise, and
I was happy.
I have
I was happy with the way my Pro-Am jersey looked, color wise, and the design wise. I liked the way that the collar sat on the Pro-Am jersey, but that joker came down past my butt. And
that's why you need a Bullmag, because it holds it up.
But that's where the sponsors are. It's at the bottom, so you have to keep it pulled down, or else you're hosing over your sponsors.
Right.
So enjoy the dress, you know.
Right.
Yeah. So, and since our last podcast, the new league rules, the 2024 rules, have taken effect. Unfortunately, I cannot provide too much insight as to the new league rules and how at least our venue throwers are doing with it, or their feedback towards it, because we're going to handle the waddle stuff via Marathon League, because we couldn't get 6 people that wanted to throw. So we're going to have to count on our South Carolina boys and our Atlantic thrower posse to come in full force and be able to make up a marathon here. because, just our normal Tuesday throwers were like, can we come up with a different game? And I was like, look, we're allowed to do rec leagues, and that's what this is. So let's come up with a rec league game, and throw that, and then we'll handle the scratching that competitive itch for the waddle throwers via marathon league.
Sure.
But you are in a 2024 league. How are you enjoying it?
It was really rough at first. I'm not throwing advanced yet.
Okay.
So all of my the only axe I'm ever going to throw from now on is the A365, and all of my prototypes have been out being tested. So I've got one that I've been using, and it was cut down to 17 3/8. So that's not long enough for me and my throwing style to throw 15. And I just been so busy with the launch and everything that I haven't had much chance to actually practice 15. As far as the overall game, it was rough at 1st. I went into it, with an open mind. I'm throwing much more accurately. I'll say that throwing the outside bulls have increased my accuracy with the center. As far as how long, it takes a lot longer for our leagues now. So ours starts at 6 o'clock. Oh, my bad. Ours starts at 6 o'clock, and we usually get out 9:30. So that's a pretty long time.
Yeah.
And sorry, I'm over here hitting all the chords and stuff. That's about, I'd say 30 to 45 minute difference from the old rules. And I'd done a marathon down in Florida. I did a marathon.
10 throws is 10 throws. What's the hold up here, guys?
Well, you've got people making decisions now.
Fair.
Do I want to go for the center? Do I want to go for an outside? Do I want to go for a kill? Most of the throwers in my venue are not competitive, so they just throw center the whole time. So they hit a 6 and the rest are 5s, which is fine.
Yeah.
But whenever you're trying to advance or you want to throw competitively, you've got to practice all. I throw.
You have a pattern?
Yeah, I switch it up, but I throw the same rules as competition or tournament rules, to practice for an actual tournament.
Yeah.
So I'm going around the whole time.
Yeah. Okay. Now, one of the things that you brought up was that you think that throwing at the smaller, perimeter bullseyes is improving your accuracy on that center bull. Now, when we get to the World Championships, that is still throwing the 2023 rules. Do you think that is going to increase? Are we going to see if you can't throw a 60 or higher almost every game, then, enjoy the concession stand or what?
Yeah, I would say so. I don't think that's going to affect the center bull, the old rules, in any negative way. It depends on the thrower and the person.
Yeah.
For instance, I went to a house party the other evening, and it was a house party / backyard fun tournament. I hit a 63, 60. I was in the higher range the whole time, which is more consistent than I was before.
Yeah.
I mean, my high score is 64 last minute last season, but before that, I think my high score is 59. So
okay.
I really, it's a weird give and take.
Yeah, I think that it's kind of the phenomenon when they shrunk the kill shots, then there was lower scores, and then people started adjusting to it, and then they were back to hitting almost every kill shot. And then they shrunk the bullseye, and then it was a decrease in scores, and then all of a sudden people are back to 64. So I think that the 2023 World Championships, after having played the new game for 4 months, I think that the people are going to post high scores. I think we're going to see a boatload of 64s in the top 16. So it's going to be interesting.
Have you taken a look at the leaderboard?
I haven't.
It's interesting to look at.
I took a look at it like the first 2 weeks after those were posted, but I haven't taken a look at it lately. But
I looked at it yesterday. No, I looked at it this morning because it updated, from league yesterday. I'm ranked 63rd overall as an amateur. It's with everybody mixed with just amateurs. I believe I'm 9th or 10th, somewhere around there. But I was never in the top 100 until this league. And I don't think that's because it's a drastic change in my performance. I don't think there's as many people throwing. So
yeah. So in your particular league, have you seen a drop off in league participation?
Oh yeah. every season since I started 4 seasons ago has gotten smaller since they announced the new rules. We
Interesting.
lost a lot of the older demographic that just said we don't feel like learning a new game. They just quit, which is surprising. A lot of them are really great people, but I think we're at 17 throwers. I mean, don't quote me on that, but it's somewhere around there. We used to be in the 30s.
Okay.
So
Yeah, we've actually seen we saw an uptick in participation for this whatever you want to call it, the first league of the season, winter league. As a rec league, we saw an increase of, well, I mean, we've added 4 new members, you know, so and you know, we're throwing the new game, and it's a lot of fun. It's strategic and challenging. I'm not going to go into like an extreme amount of details.
right, this is the one that I tried.
Yeah,
it is a lot of fun.
I want to do like a whole episode on it.
Sure.
So you know, but the game is hosted entirely in. You throw cornhole at all? Do you ever throw cornhole?
I never really got into it, but I can know what you're referencing if you're going to
Yeah,
use it.
so Scoreholio is kind of an app that was developed in order to create tournaments. It's a tournament engine. It's a scoring interface, and it's also like notifies you. It's got all these bells and whistles built into it. And then they started branching out from cornhole. You know, Scoreholio. It's actually built into their name. So then they started doing darts and. They got horseshoes in there. They've got pickleball. That you know, you could pretty much score anything and build tournaments and seasons and whatnot in that. And they created an interface for our game, the one that we're running for rec. So
that's cool.
So we're using Scoreholio as our tournament engine, and they've been fantastic. And it's a really powerful tool.
Does
So
it keep a leaderboard as well?
keeps a leaderboard. It keeps
Like all your averages and things
every stat. If you're a stat nerd, you're gonna just go.
Yeah, I'm crazy. I'm crazy with that. Well,
you could do.
I'm looking at it like every day.
Oh yeah, man. You could do every bit of analysis, and you could even port that those stats over onto a more official leaderboard for. You know, if you wanted to do a local league page or something like that, it's good stuff. So, and it's super, as a venue owner, like I paid an annual fee for a pro account, which was like $100, right, for the whole year. And I could add 1,000 people into a tournament, and I'm not paying $5 a person. You know what I mean? That's fantastic.
As a small business owner, for sure.
Yeah. So anyway, I do want to do like a full episode on I want to couch it as, hey, you know, if you're looking for creating a league that is a rec league or a beer league or something, but you want to do it out, you know, you don't want to do it in pen and paper. You want something a little bit more shareable, with a bit of tech involved. You know, I'm going to do an episode, you know, kind of talking to venue owners about, hey, here's an alternative. This is a way to do it. It won't break the bank. And here's a fun new game that, you know, is both more challenging than just throwing at bullseyes the whole time, and a little bit strategic and a lot of fun.
I think most venues and their leagues are filled with people that are not looking to be competitive. They just like to drink a beer and throw an axe. Yeah. So, you know, it makes sense. If the majority of your demographic are just doing it for fun.
Yeah. So
catering to that.
Out of let's say 20 people in the league, we've got 5. So 25% of our league wishes to be competitive. You know,
that's more than most, in my opinion, from the leagues or venues that I've been to.
Yeah, but of those 5, 3 of them are staff members. So, you know, we're throwing all day, every day. You know? So, yeah. Now the new game, when you're sitting there at league throwing the 2024 rules, do you feel that the watchability is better? Is it more exciting to watch?
It's hard to say at my venue because I think that I'm the only one that throws competitively right now. We've had a couple people that did in the past, but as far as the marathon that I went to in Florida last weekend, or I'm sorry, 2 weekends ago, I'd have to say, obviously it depends who's throwing. You know, if
Yeah.
they're interesting to watch or if they're good. You know, watchability on a scale of 1 to 10, 6.5.
Okay.
But I mean, it could go up if depending on who's throwing. You know,
Yeah,
so if I'm watching two previous world champions throw against each other, then obviously I'm going to tune into that. But
Well, I'm going to tune into it in the 2023 rules.
Right.
Like, just watch these guys. Like, is anybody going to miss a bull? Is anybody missing a bull?
it's really comes down to is the pressure going to get to the person, because everybody knows how to hit the center. It's not anything special, and it hasn't been for a long time. It's really comes down to where you at mentally, and you know, how'd you prepare for the tournament. In my opinion.
Oh no, I mean, I think that's about right. You know, a lot of people are like, why don't we just skip to the last two throws and see who wins?
Right.
You know, so it's getting down to that. But right on. Yeah. So once again, I am super excited to throw that axe.
Yeah, we're gonna have to throw some after.
We're
after
gonna
the
throw some
podcast.
after we tie up this wrap up this podcast. And is there
It's 3-4, right?
what's that?
You're up one game.
I'm up one game.
Well, one game.
Yeah,
All right,
that's right.
I'm gonna
So
come
we
back.
Good. And then I think there's a couple other people I'll challenge you in the venue too.
Let's do it.
Yeah, so
I want everybody to try it before I leave.
beautiful, and I think they'll really like it. So, you want to give a shout out to your venue while you're on the
Yeah, Blade and Bull. Well, this isn't a venue show. This is actually Hatchet for Heroes.
Hatchet for Heroes? Yeah,
Hatchet for Heroes,
so
awesome organization.
Austin Shepherd.
Yes, Austin Shepherd.
Yep,
He's a
down
great
at
guy.
the Trap. Yeah,
They're all just awesome people. There's a lot of great people. Yeah, the Trap.
Mm-hmm.
That's the marathon I'm going to this weekend. I'll be
Beautiful.
in the Trap on Sunday.
yeah, it's in Orlando. I love our Atlantic throwers, man.
Yeah,
Yeah.
We're a squad.
The squad. Yeah, that's right. All right, perfect. Well, thank you for joining us. It's been awesome to get this real axe talk out onto the inner zones. We are uploaded as audio podcasts on wherever you find your favorite podcast platform, be it Spotify or Apple, etc. So you can find us there. We'll upload to YouTube. So if you want to get your eyes on this beautiful axe and check out the website, then jump over to the YouTube. And we always post this to Facebook. And until next time, we bid you a farewell. I thank John.
Thank you so much for having me. This has been fun.
Awesome. All right. Thanks, everyone. Take care.